Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, rocking SC2 Zerg. It, of Fatality Esports, it is Dark. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be settling in. And we can finally embrace a bit of a different matchup here. We had a lot of TVTs here to kick things off, but now we can embrace some Zerg and some Protoss. As of now, we have Classic going for the Gate Expand. Gate Expand out of Class. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Gasless. He's going for a 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Classic. Now, if you were here during the group stage and during the earlier rounds, you would be aware that this is a build that Classic has been flexing. Did use it against Rumiath during the group stage, if you recall. This is a 2-gate opener, double Zealot into Dragoon follow-up. A very aggressive start here for Classic. He opts to delay his expansion in favor of the 2-gate. So a much more assertive start here from Classic. Should be going Zealot into eventual Cybercore into Dragoon, and just non-stop rallying across the map. We'll see if Dark can hold on, as Dark goes Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of Dark. And there we go, the first wave of Zelts are on the way. They are on the way. I say Classic did this against Rumiath. He also did this against 3-Point as well, as Classic has been playing against a lot of Zerg players here in SEL. Zelts are rallying out. And you do see them trying to bypass that Overlord as well. Alas, Dark, he does spot the 2-gate opener, so he should be somewhat aware of what's going on. I'm curious if Dark also watched the previous quarterfinals matches. If so, then he would have an idea of the build coming his way. I mean, he also sees lack of Cybercore. Cybercore just now gets thrown down. He knows. Dark knows what's going on. Back at home, Queens are amassing. Lings are on the way. Extra Lings going for a very fast roach. Oh my god, that is an insanely fast roach warren. It's going to be a short series. I should have emphasized that before. Dark and Classic, they're hyper aggressive, and this tells us that Dark, he plans on not just defending, he plans on counterattacking and turning this defense into an offense. Oh boy. We'll see if Classic can get some value here. Zealots have arrived. Again, they walk with purpose. Let's go. They're charging up their side blades, looking to dive in. Still no commitment though. They're just posturing for the time being. No major trades. Roaches are amassing. Ling speed is on the way. And again, Dark, he's not droning. He's not droning. His cutting works at 20, and I believe Dark plans on going for a Ling Ravager all in. We'll see if he cuts roach production. If he keeps making roaches, it's just going to be Ling Roach. Yeah, he's making more roaches. Okay, never mind. So he's not banking gas. He's not banking gas. It's just going to be Ling Roach. You can see Classic, he races back home. I don't believe Classic saw the mineral line. He doesn't know. He does not know just how much saturation there was. Behind this, no shield batteries. Uh-oh. No shield batteries. No cannons. Robo is done. He's taking up. He's taking into a bay, into disruptors. Sorry, I should say into Reaver production. And I'm getting deja vu. We saw a very similar kind of game state here against 3-Point, where I believe 3-Point Bane busted. Here we have Dark just roach rushing. As the army's being dragged out into the open, and the roaches, they come in. There's one Ravager behind this. Roaches, they have arrived. They're going for the Zealots. Lings, they collapse in. They get a surround. I mean, the Zealots, they trade well against the Lings, I should say. Oh, the Dragoon. Oh, the Dragoon is going to be safe. I'll pick up here with a shuttle. Very nicely done. Second Dragoon has arrived. But the natural's being broken. The shield battery is not done. It's halfway done at this point. It's not going to finish. There's a third Dragoon. But so many probes are falling. The shield battery looks like it will complete though. Kind of. Finishes up for a moment, gets knocked down. And it looks like Darky's got overwhelmed. There's one Dragoon left. Pylons under fire. There's 2 Dragoons in production. It looks like they might pop out in time. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close here. As Lings, they bust into the main. Reaver is out. More Dragoons have... Oh, the Miles! Oh, massive connections. Both Dragoons fall. The Reaver is out. The Reaver will help. But you can see here, Duck, he's pre-splitting his roaches, making sure that he does not lose one roach, or he only loses one roach at a time. Ay. Boys are being pulled. Reaver will eventually clean all this up. Oh god, the splits! Up! You can see Dark trying to anticipate the scarab shot. And he collapses in, takes down the Reaver. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very aggressive opener out of Classic, but Dark, upon seeing the aggressive opener, he responded with an all-in. He's like, mate, you want to aggress upon me? Nah, mate, let's go. I'll show you how to be all-in. So Dark, he committed to an all-in. Classic, if you remember, he opened up 2-gate into Mass Zealot, into Dragoons, taking into the Reaver. But again, he was just caught with his pants down. He didn't realize that it was up against an all-in because the Zealots did not get into the mineral line. He did not get past the army. He did not check the mineral line. He did not see if Dark was droning or not. And he wasn't. He was not droning. Classic caught with his pants down. And with that, Dark takes the lead. And now we're jumping into game 2. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. Let's go. That's classic Dark for you. Get it? Este Apex. Good evening, Apex. Good evening. Ay. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Hope you're doing well as we are settling into game 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the blue Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Zerg player going for a 12 pull. Going for a 12 pull, it makes sense. We're loading into Whispers of Gold, very short rush distance by ground, a very aggressive map. We have representing Talent Esports, the South Korean Zerg player. It is Dark. Let's go. we had a pretty long TVT previously. You know, we casted Spirit versus Kiwi, and of course did go to game 5, and we had some long macro games here. Nah, papi, the gloves are off. We're sending it, papi. We're getting down and dirty here as the drone is being sent across the map. It's going to be a 12 pull alongside a proxy hatch, I would imagine. As Dark is moving out to, I would imagine, try and disrupt the wall here of Classic. Drone is coming in. And Classic, he is in position here to wall off. Second gateway. Yeah, 2-gate open out of Classic. He does wall off. But regardless, Dark, he will still go throw down that hatchery nonetheless. Probe Scout confirms a 12 pull. Classic knows. Classic knows what's going on. And again, 2-gate open out of Classic, very safe. A very safe play here from Classic. Going 2-gate into, I would imagine, a forge, or just fully walling off. Lings are on the way. Dark, he's expanding. Okay, he's not all in. It is a 12 pull. It is a proxy hatch, but he's going to be canceling. He's going to be expanding. At least he attempts to. He's droning. He's crazy. He's droning on up. Okay. I mean, he is causing a really strong reaction here, right? 2 pylons on the low ground, second gateway, delayed cybercore, delayed expansion. He is disrupting the build of Classic, but is he poking the bear? Because similar to last game, Classic is going to have a lot to work with. Yo, is Dark just going to let this finish? He could. He could just let it complete. As Ling have arrived. Don't quite get this around. Hatchery's almost done. Does he let it finish? And it looks like he will. The hatchery will complete. Again, just a delay. More Lings are on the way. Gateway under fire. Oh my god, the gateway's gonna get, it's getting low. Gateway goes down. Mass around on the Zealot. Oh, barely doesn't get it. Zealot does slip away. Classic is holding. But again, now that he lost a gateway, that means he cannot counterattack. Or I should say his counterattack is going to be that much weaker than it should be. Oh, the Broodlings! Up! He wants the Zealot! He wants it! Oh wait, no, there's no... Never mind. My apologies. I just, my brain is geared to SC2. No Broodlings. My apologies. I think he still gets the Zealot. Yeah, he still gets it. Or got the first one, I should say. Lings, they bust into the main. And behind this, we're just droning. We're just droning up. Dark, he's calming things down, saturating his bases. And Classic is stuck on one base. And again, usually he would have a second gateway here, and he could go into a double, if not quadruple, adept counterattack. But right now, he's only got 1 adept. He's soon to have 2 adepts. His production is delayed. His counterattack is delayed as well. And it's going to be that much weaker. Now, it's still moving out, and Dark has to respect it. Still 2 adepts and 1 zealot. Back at home, what does Dark have? Sunken colonies. Sunken colonies are on the way. Bearing in mind as well that adepts can shade past this. And Dark, is he going for a full wall? Oh, I believe so. Yeah, I believe a full wall up here. Adepts have arrived. Oh, no, never mind. There is a way in. There is a way in. They get past the sunken colony. They get into the middle line. Drones are going down. Classic doing well here. I think this was meant... Yeah, this was meant to be a full wall. So, unfortunate SimCity there for Dark. It's going to be 6, 7 drone kills. This is getting out of hand. This is game-ending damage. 8 drones. 9 drones going down. Can he get 10? Oh my god. Can he get 11? Can he get 12? 13? 12 drones going down. Ay. This is just far too much. Dark, his economy is crippled down to 14 workers. Again, he was meant to fully wall off, but alas, the Evo chamber just not thick enough. And now Dark's in trouble. Is in trouble here. He has a lot of catching up to do. Sure, he delayed the economy, but Classic is perfectly fine at this point. He's counterattacking with now 4 adepts. Jesus. That's a lot of adepts. Dark, can he full wall off this time? I mean, there's a bit of lava here that can stop him from doing so he has to be careful. Adepts are moving out. I think he can fit a sunken colony here, or a creep colony. Yeah. There we go. That's what he wanted. Now he does fully wall off. He delays the adepts. Oh, the drones are trapped. No, the drones. Oh my god. Damage is still done. And Dark is forced to fully wall off as well. Ay. Is contained to 2 bases. Behind this, Classic just happily saturating, getting to charge. Can take a 3rd base from here, getting to charge Archon. Classic looking good. We go. Soy muy cansado. Y tú, cuídate, papi, cuídate. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. The remainder of the weekend. As the episode do threaten to shade into the main, Hydrogen is on the way here for Dark. Again, getting to Ling Hydra. Adepts checking for a 3rd expansion. Lings, they will get a surround, but Adepts they can shade away. Yeah, decent surround here. 1 Adept goes down. They shade into the middle line. More drones being targeted down. Ay. Getting another 2, getting another 3 drones. 3 more drone kills. And Classic just has a booming economy. 46 workers. His 3rd base, can he hold on to it with Archons? He can, 100%. With Archons, he should be able to hold on to the 3rd. Lings that will threaten. Dark, he sees the army, backs off. Rotating around. Potentially slipping into the natural. But Classic is not hero. He's not hero, he's ready, he's in position. Fully walled off. And now we have an Archon drop follow-up. Now, there is a chance here for Dark. He is massing Hydras. If he can catch the Prism and the Archons, then we can start a comeback. It is looking bleak, though. It is a bleak game state here for Dark. But if he can catch that Prism... Hydras are amassing here at the natural. Drop into the main. Oof. Nothing in position. Drones are going down. And GG gets called. There's too much to handle. And Classic ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Dark had a cheeky start, but he was punished for it. Actually, very similar to Game 1, now that I think about it. As a reminder, if you remember, Game 1, Classic opened up 2 gates into Zealot aggression, and he was punished by an all-in out of Dark. And here we saw kind of almost the inverse of that, or the reverse of that, where Dark opened up aggressively, Classic defended, then he was able to counterattack and just wreak havoc. Classic wasn't necessarily all in with his counterattack, just adepts, just a handful of adepts, and we saw that unfortunately Dark was unable to wall off. It would have been a different game state if he was. If he was able to wall off and delay those first 2 adepts, maybe a different game. Maybe a different kind of game state there if Dark was able to wall and able to minimize losses, but last that was game-ending damage, and now we have a series. We have a back and forth. This can still go either way. As we're getting into game 3, going to be loading into Troy. Let's go. Loading into Troy. From one player force Warlock to another. True. Which is why this series is hard to call. Like, honestly, this could go either way. Like, I feel like these two players are very, very close in skill here. And we'll see who takes a lead in this series, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Troy, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the SE2 Zerg player, the Teal Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. A little bit more aquamarine than teal, but sure, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. As we are settling in. As a reminder, it is loser's pick, and no surprise, Dark did opt to pick and play SE2 Zerg. So he's back to what he knows best, back to StarCraft 2. Going hatch first. Meanwhile, Classic, once again, 2-gate. Very similar to game 1. 2-gate opener. Once again, this should lead into double Zealot harass, into Dragoon harass, into Reaver drop. This is Classic's go-to build when it comes to PvZ, when it comes to Brood War Zerg. And he's looking for his opponent. Does scout bottom right. We can see Dark scouting top left with the initial Overlord scouts. Second Overlord towards the right-hand side as well. As a reminder, we're loading into Troy. Troy is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top left, top right, and bottom left as well. So both players are looking for their opponents. And because it's cross spawn, because it's diagonal spawn, I do favor Dark here. He should be able to defend. What I will emphasize though, because of the longer rushes by ground, if Dark wanted to counterattack with another all-in like he did in game 1, I don't think he's going to be as successful. I don't think he's going to be as successful this time. So we may just see a longer game state instead. And Classic should be able to get into his Reaver drops if all goes well. Now, some of the other big features here of this map is that it's kind of like a pseudo island map in a way. In a sense, we do have a triangular third base, which is an island. It's cut off here from all sides. Likewise, there are also these center expansions you can expand to, but there are these assimilators that can be knocked down. If they get knocked down, then we get permanent walls. Permanent walls are erected here, and you cannot gain access, you cannot escape without, of course, drop play or Nidus Worms. So just a really interesting feature here for Troy. Just with all these little simulators. Meanwhile, Zealots move out. Oh. And they are revealed. And we have more Zealots on the way. Again, followed by Dragoon production and Dragoon aggression. And Dark, he was unaware of what was going on, by the way. It was a late scout. Yeah, late scout by Dark. Zealots have arrived. They're chasing down the Queen. And this is going to be a much more chaotic start for Dark. Lings are amassing, more Queens are on the way. And Dark, he is going to be able to hold on. We'll take down the first Zealot in the main. But more Zealots are on the way. They're coming in to reinforce. And they get here just in time. They save the second Zealot. They're able to pull back. Able to retreat. Now we can see that it looks like we are delaying Dragoon production for a moment, going for a faster Robo. And again, this should lead into a Reaver drop. As we mentioned before, Zealot aggression into Reaver production. And on top of that, these Zealots, even though they didn't really kill too much, looking at the unit source tab, it was 1 Zealot for 4 Lings. What it did do was delay droning. It delayed the saturation here of the natural. And oh my god, that is a fast lair. Jesus. Dark rushing into a fast lair, second gas on the way. Now, what could this be? This could be a couple different things. As Lings, they do chase down the Zealots. They at least try to. Oh, they flood in. Oh my god, they flood into the main base. They ignore the Zealots. They get into the mineral line. And they're wreaking havoc. There are Zealots further back in the main, though. Lings will attempt to delay some mining. Oh, they get a probe. 1 probe goes down. But here, when it comes to this build, I'm leaning towards a Link Queen Nidus all-in. I'm leaning towards Link Queen Nidus all-in. Ooh, but no, extra gases are being taken. Mutas. This looks like Spire play. This does scream Mutas, and we'll see if Dark does embrace the Spire. There it is. Spire is on the way. So again, extra gas is being taken, Spire's in production, third hatchery is on the way, and I do think that Mutas are a really good way to shut down Reaver drops, very similar to how they shut down Disruptor drops in SE2. Speaking of Reaver drops, Shuttle Speed is on the way, the base is soon to be thrown down, not yet. Interesting. as Classic's economy has been delayed. Oh wait, no, there it is. As Reaver is in production. Wait, where's... Oh, right. For some reason, I was looking right at the bay, and in my brain, that was the Robo. And I was like, where's the bay? What's going on? Where's the Reaver production? There it is. Look, it's early in the morning, Bobby. It's early. Yes, Reavers are in production here. And of course, the link does confirm. Dark is fully aware, and that's why he is going into Mutas. Again, it's all coming into each other here. It's all coming together, I should say. The Dark's intention is to shut down that drop. Things are being active. Classic building up his high Dragoon counts. He's moving on with everything, actually. It's not going to be Reaver harass. It's going to be a Reaver push. Ooh, and with all these Dragoons, it's not going to be easy to break this with the Muta. With those Mutas. 7 Mutas on the way. Lings, they try to catch reinforcements. Ooh, Overlord goes down. That supply block's Dark. Brutal supply block. Dark stuff at 82. Stuck at 82 supply. Another Overlord going down. Brutal supply block here for Dark. He's in trouble. Overlords are falling. Reaver has arrived. Wasted shot here on the Ling. On another Ling as well. Gets a Queen. Queen goes down. Lings are coming from behind, but that's what the Reaver's for. Ooh, we do get some delayed shots. But Lings are going down. Mutas, they try to collapse here on the Dragoons. It looks like Dark, he will clean this up just barely. And cleans up the Dragoons, shuts down the Reaver, and Dark defends. Dark does defend. Again, I do feel like those Reaver shots were less than ideal here for Classic. Because he had shot just before the Lings came in from behind, he didn't have a shot available for the Lings. Once he had it, again, the Lings, they were spread out, and yeah, the fight was lackluster for Classic. And Dark, he fights back. The Scarab was chasing him down. I'm loving the control here, the shuttle control here, saving the probes, the micro, the drop play. Mutas, they bust into the main, probes are going down. And Dark has momentum, he has control of the map. Getting his third up and running, getting it operational. Lings flooding into the natural. Mutas pulling back. Yo, Corsair production's on the way. Until then, the Dragoons, they have a hard time keeping up. And that's going to be 13 probes going down. Oh. 13 probes. Corsair still on the way. Did I say 13? 18? 20? What a mass. 20 probes going down. Oh my god. Insane damage. Classic down to 29 probes. Back up to 31. But still, just his economy has been crippled. He's stuck on 2 bases, and Dark is taking a 4th. He's up 2 bases, taking a 4th at this point. Massing up more Lings, getting to +1 air attack. And Corsairs, sure, they are good against Mutas, kind of in a sense as how Phoenixes are good against Mutas, but with a high enough Muta count, they can still overwhelm the Corsair. And there's just not enough of them. Dark, he's up to 15. Oh! Dies on the Corsairs. At least tries to. And will collapse in. He gets 1! 1 Corsair goes down. 4 Mutas have fallen so far. Came in the production, getting another Corsair. I mean, they're doing well for themselves. Forcing back the Mutas. But Dark is still committing. He has no fear. He has no fear. Still commits to the mass Muta. Let's go. Fun fact. This is actually the first time, after casting SEL for like 3 months, this is the first time I'm seeing a Corsair. Unironically. The first time I'm seeing Corsairs. Oh, let's go. I appreciate it. As Mutas are coming from behind, they hit the main. Classic out of position. 8 probes go down in an instant. Ooh. Let's see Dark trying to engage. Oh my god. So I'll take a little hits though. He has to back off. At this point, I don't think I'd be opposed to going to Corrupted production, and it'd be like a similar dynamic to, I mean, Muta versus Phoenix. We'd have a couple of Corruptors as a backbone to the army to help tank. But for now, still committing to just mass Muta. I mean, I guess technically Dark can do whatever he wants, right? I mean, he's got 5 bases, I should say, compared to the 2-base economy here of Classic. I mean, even under 2 bases because of all those dead workers. So technically, Dark, he can be inefficient. Can get away with being inefficient here. Oh my god. Starkey does commit in. Taking forward. Corsairs doing well for themselves though. Pretty good trades. Oh, one Corsair goes down. But Classic, he is holding his own. Oh my god, getting so much value here, taking out so many mutas. Jesus. At what point does Dark start making pure muta? That's the real question. At what point does he take into like Ultras and Hive Tech, or into like Corruptor? Does that happen at all? I mean, again, he's like Dark is max, so I guess it's still fine. It's still okay. It's okay. As Classic moves out, Dark anyway first round. Yeah, this time with the Lings. He collapses on the army, comes in from behind, gets a full surround, and yeah, he will clean up these Corsairs. They were traded well defensively, but they get completely cleaned up. And Dark will take a lead in the series. GG gets called. Dark will take game number 3. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark will take a lead. Again, once again, a very chaotic game stage, but this time Dark was able to read his opponent quite well. As a reminder, this is a build that Classic has done throughout the course of the tournament. Whether it's, I mean, now here in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals against 3-Point, and in the group stage against Rumiath as well. Classic opening up 2-Gate Zealot into Dragoon, into Reaver Drop. I mean, he's quite fond of it. Quite fond of it whenever he plays Brood War. And we saw that even though Dark didn't scout what the follow-up was, he blindly went 2-base Muta. He blindly went 2-base Muta because he just assumed that it's going to be the same build again, isn't it? And it was. It was the same build. Was that Reaver Drop. So Classic being a little bit predictable here when it comes to his builds. And Dark shutting him down quite well. Does shut him down. GG, well played. With that, Dark takes the lead, but it's merely still a best of 7. We can, of course, embrace a longer game state here. We can have a longer series. I'm hoping for a back and forth as we are going to be loading into game number 4, loading into Monty Hall. Let's go. Let us go. If Classic slaps plus on air on those things and teched up to Templar, he'd be like, oh, oh, let's go. Unfortunately, no Storm. Unfortunately, no Tech either. It was unfortunate. I mean, you could also argue that potentially Classic didn't really have the economy for that. As a reminder, Classic, he was really struggling economically. He lost so many probes. So many workers had gone down. So it was a rough game state there for the Protoss. But now we're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Rocking SC2 Protoss, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Brutal Zerg. But for Talent Esports, it is Dark. Here we go. Monty Hall is still one of my favorite maps to cast. Players do hate it, and they often veto it, but in a best of 7, no vetoes. No vetoes are available. We are forced to embrace some of these more unorthodox maps. You can see Classic in mines through the northern attack path. We'll take the northern expansion here on the right-hand side. We'll expand on the right. Meanwhile, Dark expands on the left. As a reminder here, our players are fully walled in with these mineral patches, and they have to pick and choose the direction that they do expand in. They have 3 options: the center, the north, and the south. Do have options. Dark actually double expanding, going for his, oh my, he's going gasless. Okay, I mean, we've seen Dark go gasless many a time in SC2, but here in Brood War, this I'm less familiar with. So I'm curious. I'm excited. Gasless opener out of Dark. It's going to be Hatch. Hatch. Oh, no shot. He's crazy. Dark. He's going quadruple. He's crazy. Hatch, hatch, hatch before pool. It's hatch, 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 gas into pool. This is the greediest build you can ever go for. This is insane. I've never seen this before. Oh my god. Dark cutting every single corner you can. And he could be punished quite hard. Very, very hard, actually. But Classic going just gate expand. It's Cybercore, depth-based opener. And we'll see what Classic can do here. We'll see if he can try to punish this, because this is crazy. Oh my god. Yo, we heard you like greedy openers, Papi. I was expecting like gases, like this, like hatch into pool. But no, Dark, he does one better than that. All the bases, all the expansions. Late link production, of course, late link speed, late gases. And Classic is producing some adepts. He will be able to move out across the map, but again, it's only the one adept. Adept into Stalker with a Stargate opener. Now, there is potential. There is potential for Classic. He can, of course, harass with Adepts. He can harass with Oracles. It's going to be on Dark to keep up. Bearing in mind, Dark does not have Queens, so he will need some Spore Crawlers to defend, and Lings and Stack Defense. Is going to be heavily reliant here on Stack Defense, as the first Adept does shade across. But true. I mean, I believe the Adept cannot get through, right? Yeah, the Adept cannot get past the middle wall. Exactly. It's genius. He can't get in. Oh, my god. Now, just to reiterate what's going on here, the way that this map is constructed, when you mine through the gold mineral patch, only workers or only very small units can actually squeeze through. Units like Marines, Lings, and Adepts cannot. So Classic cannot harass. He cannot do anything here. Like, once Dark realizes where the Adept is, I mean, he just saturate the other bases. This base is only for Overlords. He's making Overlords. I mean, there's a drone that's exposed, true, but he's getting a macro hatch instead. So Dark, he's, of course, knowingly just not making workers here. Just preserving his mineral line, and he's rushing into Hydra instead. He's skipping Ling speed right into Hydra tech. Oh, but the Oracle has arrived. The Hydras, they pop out. Hydras, they pop out just in time. 2 workers go down. Doesn't even have to waste resources here making those spore colonies. Darky defends. As I say that, though, that's going to be a 3rd drone falling. Barely a 3rd, a 4th drone as well. 4 drones, not bad. That's an okay amount of damage, but I'm sure Classic was hoping for a little bit more. Especially because Dark is skipping Spore Crawls. But here comes the second Oracle. Oh. Gets 1 more drone. Yeah, Dark out of position. So this build makes sense here for Dark. It makes sense when it comes to his execution, but alas, when it comes to his build choice. But the execution is lacking a little bit here, as he needs his Hydras in position to get away without Spores. He needs those Hydras. Ooh, okay, as Dark, he does survive. He does hold. In the end, he did lose 5 workers for 1 Adept. It was pretty good, and a Hydra as well. So pretty good damage here with the Oracles so far, as they are still alive. As we said, Lindsay's a massive shout to Express Karma. Sorry, I'm just a little bit flabbergasted by the build. It's just, it's crazy. But Papi God, thank you so much, Express Karma, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Thank you. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a good time, and welcome one and all to the semifinals of the StarCraft Evolution League of SEL of the Fall Championship. Oracles, they dive into the natural. They do focus on one of the Hydras. They get 2, they get 3, they get all 3. Hydras, they do fall. And these other Hydras, they cannot reinforce. They're locked off. They're blocked off here, and you can see Dark, his build choice working against him. He cannot save the space. He has to mine through. Oh, he has to mine through these minerals. As again, I love this build from Dark, and clearly it's thought out. Clearly there's a lot of potential here, but I mean, unfortunately, he is getting caught out. He is being pulled apart. Classic is fighting back. As you do have to either prioritize mining through these mineral patches to rotate between the bases, or make sure you have a nice spread of Hydras ahead of time to defend against, these additional Oracles. So there's a lot that goes into this, and it can be optimized, I feel. This build can be optimized. But I love what we're seeing. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have our take of choice from Classic going into Chargelot and Storm. Storm is halfway done. Charge almost done as well. So a Chargelot Archon Storm composition from the Protoss. against Mass Hydra. It makes sense. There's no link speed. It's purely Hydra at this point. Is there even a lair? No. It's hashtag. It's a hashtag push here from Dark. No lair, no lurkers. Purely Hydra. Storm isn't done yet, but it's about to be. Oh, and Storm can annihilate this. I mean, these are not light units, true. But regardless, Storm is still going to be an effective asset here to Classic. Does commit in. Storm's being thrown down. Dark has to pull back. Oh, but that CranKy, there are so many Hydras. Yeah, the Storms are good, but the spread is even better. The Storms, they barely collapse or they barely touch these Hydras. And that was the final Storm. The final Storm goes off. The Hydras are stutter stepping forward. And Dark, has he done it? It looks like he has. He's broken the third. Next, it's going to be going down, and you can just keep pushing. Now, Classic has a little bit of time here to gather up more energy for another Storm. True. But the third base will fall. And Dark, still no lair. Oh. As Oracles are getting caught out. Very nice movement here by Dark. He shuts out every single Oracle. And Dark, he backs off. And again, Dark, he doesn't have to break the natural. He can just contain. He can just back off, rotate, and just deny the third base. Deny the third over and over again. That is Dark's win condition. Now we get the lair on the way, and now Dark can tech into lurkers. He can tech into lurker tech. +1, link speed. Classic still has a comparable army. Bear that in mind. Classic, he might be behind in economy, but Classic has a massive army, and he did save most of his High Templar. Sorry, he saved all of his High Templar. So his main army is still terrifying. And that's going to be a lot of Storms. Classic's moving out. Takes down the Overlord. Back at home, Dark. Lurkers are available. No lurker techie. Sorry, no lurkers morphed in yet. Sunken Colony's on the way. Quickly checking the. Oh, my apologies. There we go. I thought lurker tech was already researched. It is now being researched though. Classic doesn't push. Okay, he's not pushing. He's defending his third, which means he's giving Dark time to get into his own lurker attack. Dark, he's being given time. Setting up more Sunken Colonies. Dark, he's expecting a push. Does come across the army. He wants High Templar. Oh! Oh my god, takes Storm to the face. He gets one. He gets one. He barely does not get the second High Templar. That was not worth it for Dark. That was a bold dive. Wasn't worth it in the end. Classic pushing in. Breaks through the first line of Hydras. Lurkers are not ready. Oh my god, Lurkers are just not ready. Storm's gonna be brutal. Oh, High Templar gets started down. There's 3 High Templar left. 3 Storms. There's at least 3 Storms. First one on the left. Ooh, gets a lot of value. There's a second. There's a third. He needs a little bit more. And he has 2 more. He has 2 more Storms. Lurkers are morphing in. He's soon to have a third Storm. Classic, he does deny mining time. Does deny mining, but the Lurkers, they have arrived. Oh, and Lurkers, they borrow. The hatchery is going to be targeted down. Massive Storm. Hatchery goes down, and Classic, he backs off. Get the hell out of here. There's no need to push into these Lurkers. Dark holds. Dark holds on. Queen Nest on the way is taking into Hive. You know what? Classic reestablishing his third. Still trying to catch up. See, once again, he's poking in. He shouldn't commit, though. Stark's just getting another wall of sack defense, just in case. Being that much more secure. And from here, Dark, he can work towards Hive Tech, towards Defilers. Curious what direction he does go in. Or just Queens. Queens for Ensnare. True. Or even Parasite. As Dark, he's going for a counter sack, and I believe he's about to research Dropper Lords. He's going for Dropper Lord Harass. Eventual sack's finishing up. Classic is pulling back home. He's rotating over, trying to save his would-be fourth. Alas, it's going to be denied. Dark looking for another way in. The drop bullets are ready. Classic trying to take over to Sky Toss. I mean, he's on the way, but I'm concerned here about the main. The main is looking very exposed. There is going to be a recall available soon. Just needs a little bit more NG on the Nexus. If Classic needs it. Okay, does have the recall. I mean, Classic, he's more or less in position. Setting up towards the north. Lurker counterattacks on the way. Hydras get caught out. Very nice force field. Locking down the Hydras. Hive is almost done. And Dark backs off. Whew. Dark does back off. Tempest production underway. Let's go. Getting into Skytoss, getting into Tempest. Double Ribbon Immortal production to support this. Very similar to how you would deal with SE2, Hydra Lurker Viper. Just Storm, Archon, Immortal, Tempest. So a composition that Classic is used to using, I'm sure. Very much so. And we'll see if Dark can break through. As this army from Dark will eventually be outscaled. Tempest is revealed. Now he knows. There it is. Spire's on the way. Spire is on the way. Dark has to get ready here for Skyzerg. For Devourers. Guardians. Going for a massive Doom drop into the main. Army's out of position, but again, there's that recall. At least there should be. Yeah, there is one. Army dives in. We have a secondary army here towards the north trying to distract Classic. Do you have that warp in? Dark, he pulls away, focusing on the main fight. Ooh, Storm's going to be connecting. Yeah, massive Storms on the Hydras. Lurkers are going down. But Dark, he commits into the main. Okay, he lost a little Lurkers in the process, but he does get on top of the production. Storm's being forced out. High Templar going down. Can he get on top of the Stargates? And two fights at the same time. Some of the tech is falling. Gets a Twilight Council. But there might not be enough here. Dark at the same time trying to push forward, but Zealous, they come in to reinforce, and Classic he holds. He holds onto the third base. But what about the main? +3? No! Yeah, +3 is denied. Massive pickup. Mineral line as well. 20 probe kills. And he's going for the Templar Archives. Denying more High Templar. Army responds. And Templar Archives should go down. The main base as well, actually. Oh god. There we go. Main base falls. Templar Archives doesn't quite get the Stargates. He's going to be cleaned up. And behind this, Dark, he is getting into Hydra production. And oh, I forgot. Scourge. Of course. How could I? It's not going to be muted. It's not going to be kind of any kind of Devourer tech. No. Scourge, baby. Let's go. The Scourge have arrived. That's going to be the answer here to the Tempest. Tempest, they spot them, but they can't escape. Yeah, there's no escaping. They get one, they get two, they get three, four Tempests go down. Oh my god. Most of the Tempests fall. And GG gets called. Dark, he will take a 3-1 lead. GG. Oh my god. Mate, the Scourge, papi. No fear. GG, well played. I mean, yeah, that'll do it. That is an answer to the Skytoss army, especially if there's no support for the Tempest. Likewise, I mean, again, Tempests are very slow. They're very immobile. Once they get caught out like that, they will go down in an instant. GG. GG, well played. Oh. As we are getting into potentially the final game of the series. Dark, he is one game away from claiming the entire series. Classic has to fight back here and now to try to bring things back here and try and force that, or force the series out of this and keep things going. The pressure is on. The pressure is on Classic. Whew. Here we go. That outcome should be mostly expected with relatively unpunished 4 hatch before pool. Yeah, yo, if you missed out on the opener, if you missed out on the early game, then you did not see the craziness that Dark embraced going 4 hatch before pool. It was 4 hatch, gas, and then pool. Bear that in mind. It was gas before pool as well. It was crazy. It was insane, the greed that Dark got away with. But again, you could only get away with it, I feel like, on this map. Remember, you know, as we saw, the depth harass could not get anything done because of the mineral wall. Like, it was so well thought out and so specialized for Monty Hall. Like, you shouldn't really see that on another map outside of maybe an island map like Paradox or Neo Isles of Siren. So GG, well played. Here we go. We're getting into game number 5. Let's go. I was ready to say, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was just a really unique game. Really unique game state there between our two players. And here we go. We're getting into game 5, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series, but the pressure is on the Protoss. The SC2 Protoss. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have for Twisted Minds, it is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the brutal Zerg, representing Talent Esports, 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. It is Dark. Will Blizzard ever release a new StarCraft? Yeah, I mean, as Avik says, I mean, probably. I would imagine so. I do think that there's definitely good things to come with the acquisition of Microsoft, of Blizzard. Like, Microsoft acquiring Blizzard. Obviously, it's taken some time, I should say, for Microsoft to go over all of the assets and the IPs that they've acquired and go over the business of Activision Blizzard itself. But I feel like you're kind of like seeing like the outcome of that, which I think is probably a positive thing as of late. Referring to like the Game Pass, referring to the remastering of Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2, referring to the patch that Warcraft 3 just got, and referring to the balance update that Heroes of the Storm got as well. So some of these otherwise neglected IPs that Blizzard has had for a long time are now getting love again, specifically referring to Warcraft 3 Reforged and referring to Heroes of the Storm as well, and even a little bit of StarCraft 2. So these, I think, are all positive things. We spoke about it a little bit more in depth on our podcast. If you're interested, we do have a podcast on a weekly basis going over StarCraft related stuff, and we did kind of discuss more about all of that. But yeah, I think it's a positive thing overall. But regardless, we are now embracing our next game state. We're now embracing potentially the final game of the series. For now, it is going to be Hatch Gas Pool. So far, standard opener here by Dark, getting to his macro hatch, settling into his own opener. Again, welcome to Sylphid. It is a 3-player spawn map. Classic, he does scatter across the map, does confirm the spawn location of Dark. Back at home, just settling into his own standard opener. Despite how crazy, despite how chaotic and how intense a lot of these, most of these games have been, we're calming things down here in Game 5. I think this might be the most standard game we've seen. I mean, we still have quite a bit of greed here from Dark, going for another macro hatchery, second macro hatch in the main. But outside of that, we can calm things down. Stargate opener here out of Classic. He can go into Oracle Harass, into a third. So we can settle it. I think that was reported on media. Yes, there is... as is being stated in the chat, it is... I don't think a rumor is the correct word, just because it feels like we have confirmation that an FPS, or at least a shooter related to SC2 is being worked on. Whether it's an FPS or a third-person shooter, I don't really know. Is being worked on. That is confirmed. Now, I mean, despite that, is there a chance that it gets cancelled? I mean, sure. Like, if you remember, Overwatch was originally like Project Titan, right? Like, Overwatch was originally a different game, and then it got cancelled, and then it got turned into Overwatch. So, like, I mean, you know, there's obviously other things can occur to like impact the development of a game. And just because it's being worked upon, I wouldn't expect anything concrete for another couple of years, like another like 2 years, I would imagine. That would make sense in my mind. But for the time being, we do have an episode. They do threaten the natural. They're going to be knocking down that creep pony. Hydras are popping out, and it looks like they will pop out just in time. And Dark, he will defend. Once again, Dark skipping link speed, rushing into Hydra production. The wall gets knocked down, but the Hydras are here. Oh, just 2 though. Only 2 Hydras. 1 Hydra goes down. And Classic does snowball out of control. He gets both Hydras. Both Hydras go down. A couple of workers. The rest of reinforcements have arrived. A very clutch hold here from Dark. He does bleed out and is denied a lot of mining time. But he should defend. Not the cleanest of holds here for Dark, but a hold nonetheless. As what did Dark lose? He lost a Sunken Colony, he lost 3 Hydras, 2 Lings, and a Drone. And again, a reason for this is because he did opt to skip Sunken Colonies, he skipped Ling Speed, and he rushed right into Hydra Tech instead. So, tech-wise, really greedy here from Dark, and because of that, Classic did punish. At least somewhat. You can see here the value, right? So Classic did punish, but Dark still survives, and is going to be able to stabilize. Ideally can stabilize from here. Hydra Speed is on the way. The lack of third base is concerning to me. This may just be a 2-base all-in from Dark. He is getting an Evo Chamber. This is a sign that he's looking to get further into a longer game state with upgrades. And he's droning. Okay. Dark is droning up. Saturating his bases. Meanwhile, Classic getting his own third. I do think I actually favor Classic's position here just because Dark is on a low drone count and a low base count. Again, the reason why he's on low drones and low bases is because he's massed up so many Hydras. And this is why this feels like a 2-base all-in. Like, there's just so many Hydras here. But alas, ideally we'd want to wait for these upgrades. Ooh, Dark is supply blocked. Brutal supply block here for Dark. 4 Overlords on the way. Behind this, Classic getting his third base, taking up into Colossus production, into Disruptors. Bay is on the way as well for that Robotech. And Dark, he is breaking out. We can see here Dark finally taking a third. Now he's joining up. And again, the third base, the workers, this does feel like maybe Dark is going for a bit of a longer game state. Is somewhat moving out just for map control. He's keeping most of his army pinned back at home. Once again, Dark did choose to skip out on Spores, so no Spore Colonies. He has to rely on purely Hydra to defend. Does move out with a small Hydra force, but the third base is under fire. Is under fire. And can Classic force a cancel? It's gonna be close. He can. Up! Oh my god, does force a cancel. Massive pick off here. Very nicely done by Classic. Gets away with both Oracles. Oh, Dark with the intercept. Up! With a surround. Doesn't quite get it. And Goose finds 10 seconds away. Classic doesn't get out. And back at home, he's not going into Colossus, he's going into Disruptors for now. So Disruptor first, a bold move. This is quite risky here from Classic. As you can imagine, Disruptors are a little bit less reliable than Colossus. They have to rely on their Novas. And rely on their opponents not being able to avoid or dodge those Novas as well. So there is a give and take. Classic does move out. Likewise, Dark still amassing, trying to get his third base. Again, this third is so delayed for Dark. Oh my god. So heavily delayed. He's getting there, taking into Lurkers. Nice force field, catches out most of the Lings. Classic does shut the Lings down. Moving out. Dark likewise pushing on the right hand side. We are caught out in the open. Classic, he's getting caught out. He has to get the hell out of here. Does not want to fight out in the open. Does not want to get surrounded. As Hydras, they do collapse in. Nova's going to be going up. Oh, Darky does pull away. The Novas, they don't connect. Disruptors go down, and Classic gets caught with his pants down. This is not where he wanted to be. Good force fields. They slow down the Hydras. That's a massive wave of Hydras on the way. And Classic has to get the hell out of here. Does have 2 more Disruptors. Flanking Novas. Up. The Novas, they go off. Oh, massive connections. The Novas do connect, and Classic, he can hold on. Chases down the Stalkers. Sorry, chases down the Hydras with the Stalkers. Yeah, and Dark has to get out of here. He cannot fight this head on. Not like this. As Disruptors, they're getting ready here for another Nova. Dark pulling back. Classic, oh, bold Link. Oh my god, that was a little bit adventurous. Calm down. Classic trying to chase Dark down. Does back up. Lurker tech, I believe, is now researched. Lurkers can now be morphed in. And Classic now securing his 4th. And again, this entire game, Dark has been behind in economy. He's on 55 drones compared to the 75 here of Classic. Ay, ay, ay. So Dark having a very hard time keeping up. Just because of his initial build, his build of choice, his opener, has been behind. Does split up his forces. Classic's out of position. His main army is on the left-hand side. And Dark going for a Doom Drop. Let's go. Doom Drop into the main. Lurker's borrowing in. And Classic does have a recall. As the drop does unload. Likewise, we see Dark hitting the 3rd. Sorry, hitting the 4th. And going for the natural. Tripod attack. Recall does complete. Nova going off. A little bit lackluster. 4th base is going down. And Dark is being pulled. Sorry, Classic is being pulled apart. Does defend his main, but there's just nothing here to defend the 4th. Nothing's in position. Classic does try to respond. Does try to keep up. Dark pulls away. Lurker harass here at the 3rd. Oh my god. Jump into the main. Lurker harass at the 3rd base. Main army knocks down the 4th. He's everywhere. 25 probe kills. 25 workers go down. But what I will say is that the main army for Classic, that's what looks terrifying. The main army here with how many disruptors? 7. 7 disruptors, 7 purification novas. I do favor Classic in a head-on fight, but that's only if he can fight head-on. Stark, he's still rallying across the map. Getting ready for another drop. Rotating over towards left-hand side. Classic, he somewhat spots this, has a revelation on these lings. Yeah, does spot the army. Spot the army. Are maintaining himself. Forcing Dark back. You know, Lurkers have arrived. Novas go up. No major connections. But last, there's still 5 more Novas behind this. 5 more Disruptors. As at the same time, Darky comes in from behind. Once again, Classic not quite ready for this. Does have Zelts though. He's holding. So far, he's holding on. Nice split here from the Hydras. Avoiding those Novas. And Darky's pushing into the natural. Still 70 more Novas behind this though. Again, I still wouldn't be opposed to like 2 Colossus, to be honest. like just give me 2 Colossus with this. And Classic, he can A move. Now just trying to keep up. Gets a Lurker. You see Dark once again getting ready for that drop into the main. There is an army ready for him though. There are Archons and Stalkers. Classic is all over this. I mean, he's almost maxed out. As he chases down more of these Hydras. Lurkers somewhat in position. Novas go up. They chase him down. Oof. Darky tries to dive in, but last the army does respond. 2 Overlords go down. And Darky's in trouble. He's hurting. He's been hurting the entire game, to be honest. He's been borderline all in the entire game. And he just cannot keep up. He's been harassing quite well. Dropping back in. But Classic's ready. Does force it back. Lurkers, they harass the 3rd. Dark rotating over. He can actually just go for the 3rd. And he will. And Classic having a hard time keeping up with the rotations. Drops at the natural. Forcing a recall. Now it's going up. Oh my, they shut down the Lurkers. Classic is holding on. Nova's a little bit lackluster this time. No major connections. And not a bad trade here for Dark. He gets on top of the Stalkers. Army comes in from behind. And Classic coming for the surround. It's going to be a one-way trip. Dark going for the mineral line. Get some probes. Does get some workers. Some Probes aren't going down, and GG gets called. The writing was on the wall. Dark just harassing as best he can, but Classic fights back and puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Dark, he was all in. Like the entire game, essentially, he was just having a hard time keeping up economically, I should say. And there were some good moments, don't get me wrong. Remember, the moment when Dark, he was hitting 3 bases at once. The third, the fourth, and the main. It was quite impressive, the damage that Dark was dealing, but he was never able to reset the disruptor count. He was doing damage to the economy, but not the main army, and eventually he was overwhelmed. Eventually he was outscaled. GG. GG, well played. We are going to Game 6. Oh boy. And with Classic taking that game, that does mean that it's going to be Dark's race of choice. Does he go for SE2 or Brood War? I feel like we know the answer to that as we are loading into Citadel, and our next game is going to be with Dark as SE2 and Classic as Brood War. Oh boy. Let's go. Brood War Hydras are not light? Yes, as we have mentioned many a time, Brood War Hydras are not light units. Do you remember that? The reason why they're not light units, I mean, a big reason for that is because Brood War Zerg don't have roaches. So the Brood War Hydra is kind of like a midpoint between the Roach and the Hydra of SE2, just because you do need a more well-rounded unit there. That is why the Brood War Hydra doesn't really have the light tag, or is one supply as well. Is something that is more massable, if you will. Just because there's kind of less army compositions you can go for. But here we go. We are getting into our next game, into game number 6, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. There we go. In the bottom left-hand corner of Citadel, we have the blue Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. Fighting back, we'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teal Zerg player, the SE2 Zerg representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. We go. Oh my god. We're cannon rushing. Let's go. The force has in place, and Classic is going for the cannon rush. The cannons are being thrown down. Dark, he pulls the boys. At least some of them. Trying to get on top of that cannon. It looks like he will. The cannon is under fire. The cannon is going to be denied. This is a rough start here for Classic. The cannon is cancelled. They do get on top of the other there. That is going to be 3 cannons on the way. The rest of the boys have arrived. They get a surround. And it looks like these cannons, they should be denied at this point. The probes are under fire. 1 probe falls. 2nd probe as well. And is this how the series ends? With a failed cannon rush, as the cannons, they're not going to finish. They're not going to finish in time. They are denied. And Dark holds. He cleans up both of the probes. And Dark, he's in a beautiful position here. Oh, boy. Not like this, Pappy. Not like this. I'm sure that maybe Classic was hoping for like a greedier build or a greedier opener. And that is a rough start here. That was a kill on one of the cannons as well. And Dark from here can just happily drone up. He can just happily drone up, settle in. Just really rough positioning here for the cannon rush. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to save the first cannon. He wasn't able to fully wall off. Again, quick response by Dark. And this is going to be a rough game here for Classic. Not impossible, but it's going to be a rough one. Now, usually, if we were casting SE2, this should lead into Skytoss, right? Into a Stargate, Void Ray, into like Tempest or Carrier. Here for Brood War Protoss, it's not as seamless of a transition, so I do feel like the follow-up here of the cannon rush is a little bit more brutal. Oh, no shot. No shot. Lings have arrived. The cannon's not going to finish. No shot. The cannon's going to go down. It's going to be close. Can he save it? He will. He will save the cannon. The cannon is saved, but Lings, they can just deny mining at the natural. They dive into the main. Free scout here for Dark. He can wreak havoc. He shouldn't kill any probes that he can deny mining time. He can deny mining time. Being a nuisance in the main. Zealot has arrived. Roach Warren's on the way. There's that Stargate for Classic. But yeah, I'm curious how this Stargate follow-up really works here. Like he has access to what? He has access to the Scout and to the Corsair, right? Which just isn't as safe as a Void Ray, unfortunately. Like, comparing the two, like, after a cannon rush. Like, sure, Scout does technically shoot down, but against, like, a Roach Lin, like, it's not going to help much at all. Unless I'm missing something. And here come the roaches. Roaches are on the way. Roach Ravager, I should emphasize. The probe does confirm. And we'll see if Classic can make some magic happen. There we go. Wall of cannons on the way. And yeah, there is a scout. I mean, what else can he make? I mean, the scout can kill the Overlord and can nibble away at the roaches and ravagers. But again, when it comes to its anti-ground attack, it just pales in comparison to the Void Ray. As Dark, he's building up and he's getting ready to knock down that front door. He's flooding links behind this to reinforce. Oh, Pog the Scout. Let's go. True. It's gonna help a little bit. Let's go. Eventually, it'll kill a Ravager. Eventually. It's doing what it can. It'll get there. Oh, he's gonna get one. Up, 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 up. And then he gets one. Let's go. Gets a Ravager. Not bad. Can he get two? Can he get two? Yeah, he can. He'll get there. He'll get. Let's go. Get two. I mean, hey, we're pretty well set up here. I mean, we have a wall of cannons and shield batteries. I mean, this is looking very heavily fortified here. You know, looking away from the scouts and looking towards the defensive setup here. Corsairs on the way. Let's go. And Dark is main busting. Now, is there a chance? Is there a chance that Dark commits to this all in and that it fails and that Classic recovers? There is a chance. True. Banelings are coming. But there is a chance here that maybe Classic can hold on. Scouts, they're going for the final Ravager. Let's go. They are going for the Ravager. They can focus it down, but here comes the main bust. They're waddling in. They're waddling into the wall. And they're going for the side defense. First pylon goes down. Oh, busts into two of these cannons. Goes for another cannon as well. Goes for the shield battery. Ooh, massive connections. And there's two cannons left. Two shield batteries remaining. Can we hold on? Oh, there's only two roaches. Ah, it's close. It's so close. The scouts are doing what they can. There's one cannon left. Links are flooding in. Boys are being pulled. The final roach gets targeted, but the cannon falls. The cannon does fall, and the natural has been broken. And the links can wreak havoc. At this point, the links can wreak havoc. They kill every worker here at the natural, and Dark, he's not stopping. He's just flooding. He's just flooding it across the map. Cybercore is going to go down, denying any kind of Dragoon reinforcements. I mean, there's no gateway. There's no production. There's only scouts. Only scouts to defend. As Banelings morph in, and Dark, he is looking to claim this series. Again, it was not the way that we wanted the series to end with a cannon rush, but hey, I mean, you know, Classic he almost held, and hey, he's amassing scouts. He could maybe deny one Baneling. Up. Can he deny the Baneling? Can he? No, never mind. Yeah, the scouts are helping. They do help. Smurge. Dark is laughing. I don't know what the translation is. Oh, there we go. I think Classic, he's calling the scout a trash unit. It makes sense. GG gets called, and Dark, he will take the series 4-2. GG. Oh my god. GG. Congratulations here to Dark as he does advance on to the grand finals. Shout out to Classic for making a series out of this. And hey, we got to see the scout today. I mean, we've seen the scout before. Unironically, like we've seen the scouts in PvZ. We've seen the scout in PvZ going for a scout opener just to hunt down overlords, just for overlord hunting. That's it. We have seen that in the group stage. True. We have seen that. But clearly, as we've seen, and as Classic is, you know, and is expressing as well, defensively, as a defensive unit, scouts leave much to be desired. Their anti-ground attack, I don't know the stats. I think we got told in the chat earlier, is the scout attack stronger or weaker than the sentry attack? I know that the High Templar attack, the High Templar auto attack and the Arbiter auto attack, that is weaker than the scout ground attack. What about the sentry though? What does more damage? That I'm curious by. I'm curious. Does a sentry out DPS a scout? Oh no. But it's all good. Here we go. As with that, GG, well played. We are going to be settling in, and with that, we have our 2 finalists. It's going to be a best of 7 grand finals between our Zerg and our Terran. One momento here as we set things up, and we head on over to the bracket. Here we go. Let's switch our scenes over. And it has been an intense day of StarCraft already. Here we go. We have Dark. Dark takes down Classic 4-2. Does advance on to the grand finals. Meanwhile, here in the lower half of the bracket, we did start with the TvT, and Spirit took down Kiwian 4-1. And now we have our 2 finalists, Dark versus Spirit. Oh boy. And we'll see if we can go the distance here. It's going to be a best of 7. Now, personally, I was wishing it was a best of 9, just because it went 5-7-7 instead of 5-7-9. Regardless, best of 7 here between Dark and Spirit, and we'll see how this series does unfold. Coming into this, I do favor Dark. I do favor Dark in the finals, but I'm excited to see Spirit flex some of his Brood War Terran. Definitely. I'm excited to see some mid to late game PvZ. It is a matchup that we have been avoiding this entire tournament, or I should say the entire playoff bracket. We did have it in the group stage. True, we had plenty of ZVT in the group stage, but we have been avoiding it here as all the Terrans, they knocked each other out. All the Zergs were knocking each other out with Classic as well. We have yet to embrace Zerg versus Terran, but we finally do get it here in the finals. Thankfully, do get it in the finals. Let's go. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm catching up with the chat. A sentry does 0.6 more DPS. No, sorry, 1 more DPS. So one more DPS here than a scout, and has 1 more range. Sentry greater than a scout confirmed. Oh my god. As you mentioned, the scout has a little bit of different value in the sense that it can hunt down overlords, right? I think we mentioned it before. I guess the Corsair could do the same, but the scout, it can run around and hunt like overlords, going for a single scout opener. We have seen that before, yeah, confirmed. Sentry can do better than the scout. Aye. The scout shaming. No, it's fine. We love the scout. Copium. But with that, we are going to be going on a short break. We do need some time to set things up here for the finals. So take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, tuck in your Tempest, cuddle all of your carriers, and we'll be back soon with the best of 7. See you soon.